Hello YouTube! My name is CodeBear. If you are dealing with a technical interview and you want to nail that interview to get the dream job you wanted, you came to the right place. Today I'm gonna share some pro tips with you on how to nail the coding interview you're about to take. First of all, let's talk about what are the things companies are looking for from a candidate. They're looking for analytical skills, knowledge of computer science, learning abilities, the capability of write clean code, and team working skills. Bear that in mind, all the tips I'm gonna give you are serving those points. And for all the tips I give you, I'm gonna rate the importance of each one of them from 1 to 10. Before we go to the interview, we have to have a mindset that I'm here not to attend an interview, but to humbly solve the questions they're throwing at us. Note there is a humble in the sentence. You need to be mindful to other people. You need to be respectful to the interviewer. You are showing off your intelligence, your knowledge in a respectful way instead of annoying way. So once you have that mindset, you go to the interview. When the interviewer asks you a question or throw you a problem to let you solve it, the first thing and foremost you need to do is to accept the challenge. Please do not escape from it. There was one example that has happened. There was someone came to our company to interview. Based on her resume, she is amazing. She was in the best program in the nation, or probably even in the world, and she nailed it with a GPA of 4.0. Based on that, we thought she must be a perfect fit. She is a super intelligent individual, and we need her. However, in the interview, when we asked her to design a program that can represent a chess game, she replied, "I don't play chess. Can we do something else?" The interviewer was a little disappointed, but he carried on. He asked, "Okay, if you don't play chess, what kind of game do you play for fun in your free time?" She answered, "I don't play games. I just go to grad school. That's all I do. I learn." Then the interviewer was really disappointed. In the decision room, based on just this one performance, we didn't give her an offer. Bear in mind, companies are looking for people who have learning ability. If they ask you something you don't know about, it's actually a very good opportunity for you to show off your ability to learn new things. If you can learn the rules of chess and how do you play it and actually design a program in half an hour or 1 hour, that's truly impressive for anyone to see. So once you accept the challenge, the next thing you need to do is to specify the problem. It's a common mistake for candidates who just go in there, hear the problem, and go right ahead to the whiteboard and write down things. That's not right at all. You need to make sure what exactly are we trying to achieve here. So specify the problem with the interviewer. You need to ask like this. So you tell me the problem is this. In my understanding is this, this, and that. Am I understanding correctly? If it is, then can I make assumptions of this and that? If I can make these assumptions, can I do it this way and do it that way? If we achieve this, does that solve the problem? That's basically the structure to take and go with it. Once you specify the problem, the next thing, if you're familiar with algorithms, normally you want to give multiple algorithms to solve that one problem. If you're familiar with time complexity and space complexity, you need to analyze every solution you give. What are the time and space complexity of that solution? And give pros and cons of each solution and ask the interviewer, do you think I should go with this solution based on the problem we see here? That is the show off of your analytical skills and your knowledge of computer science. and you're actually discussing with the interviewer what to do, which is teamwork and skills. So after you choose a solution you want to go with, you need to write down the code. But before you write down the code, there's one very important thing you have to do if you want to get an offer, is to talk. You have to keep talking. You have to explain what you're thinking and reasoning. Basically, whatever going on in your mind also have to be going out of your mouth. You have to let other people know what you're thinking and why you're thinking this. And this also avoids the awkwardness of silence, which is always bad for any interview. So don't write down code as if there's nobody else around you. Write down the code as if you were continuously discussing with someone what you're doing. And while you're writing the code, you will make mistakes. Do not doodle the mistake, do not cross over the mistakes you make. Wipe them out. As you can imagine, the whiteboard and the marker on your hand doesn't form a very high resolution. If you cross over all the mistakes you make, the whiteboard is gonna be very messy in the end. You wanna keep that clear, so that other people can see what's going on. So wipe your mistakes. But that doesn't mean you're writing clean code, you're just making the whiteboard clean. Writing clean code means you need to think about how does the language work, such as in Java. If you write your solution in Java, please write down the class. And that shows you actually care about classes, about objective-oriented programming. That's a great thing to have. And you need to make your variables very clear. Do not make integer a equals to something, b equals to something, then mess them up. You will forget what a and b is later on. Please write down the name exactly as what they do. And also, specify what do we need to return for the solution. What are the parameters that are provided? So once you finish writing your clean code, there's one thing that only 50% of the candidates are doing. So if you do this, it's impressive. What do you need to do? Is to test your code. You don't need to write crazy test code. You just need to give a simple test case and run through your code and see if it works, see if somewhere goes wrong in the process. You will be amazed how a simple test case will reveal a major bug in your code. So please test your code. And that also tells people you actually care about the correctness of your solution. You don't just give a solution and hope it works. Well, in this whole process, you always need to check with the interviewer. Do you want more or less explanation? What do I mean by that is, there are some things you over-explain them. Well, they're just common sense. If you have that feeling, please ask the interviewer, do I need to explain this more? Or can we just carry on? Or if there's something you think that was assumption and you are not explaining enough, the interviewer looks confused, just ask him, do I need to explain this more in depth? If you do that, they will think you're a team worker. You care about if other people understands your thinking process or not. So always do that. If you can nail all the bullet points I mentioned above, you are basically all set. But there are some side notes I want to mention. First of all is a lot of people think about language choices, which is really not a big deal. Some people think the language you choose will impress the interviewer, such as if a company only do C++ and you do the interview in C++, that's a big deal. However, it's not. Even if a company only use C++ and you do the interview in Java, it's still a great interview. You see, it's not the language that matters. It's the thinking process. It's your problem-solving skill. It's your ability that matters. Language, if you are an experienced programmer, you will know how easy it is to switch from one language to another. So language don't matter. Next one a lot of people have been asking is the launch interview. Does it really matter? and what role does it play? My answer to the question is, launch interview somewhat matters. They always tell you, launch interview is off the record, we don't actually care, and we don't actually make any decision. We're just here to enjoy some food for you and talk with you to make you less stressed. That's what they want you to believe, but the truth is, the launch interviewer is always in that decision room in the end. What they're doing is they're doing a sanity check. They want to make sure you're not insane, basically. So if you didn't talk at all and just act like you didn't care in the launch interview, or say bad things about the company, or review some major drawback of yourself, that's gonna be brought up in the final decision room. That's a big minus on you. So please take the launch interview also seriously, because they play a small role in the final decision. And the last but not least is a lot of people ask about dress code. As a lot of us know, you go to Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, you don't actually dress up. You don't need a suit for the interview. That's somewhat true. But what I suggest is always check with HR. Ask about what are the dress code, what should I be wearing. There's a golden rule. It is always better to be overdressed than underdressed. Also on dress code, even if the company does not require you to wear a suit, please don't wear shorts, flip-flops, and a Amazon logo t-shirt to a Microsoft interview. Please don't do that. Another golden rule is be respectful. The company is hiring someone they want to work with. If you dress up like you haven't been showering for 2 months, who will be wanting to work with you? So those are the tips. But above all, one thing that's more important than any of the things above is your knowledge and understanding of code, of computer science, and how do you solve problems. After all, those are the things that make you hired. Fortunately, those skills can all be trained. If you like the tips I give you above, please subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. We're gonna be looking at a lot of interview questions in the future and more tips for you to land your dream job. That's it for today. Hope you guys all get your dream job as soon as possible. Have a good night.